In this lesson, we're going to see how we can add special effects or VFX to our clips to give them a more cinematic and sci-fi look. We're going to go over 3 examples, which are all relatively easy for beginners. And if you follow along, you will be able to create really cool effects on the videos that are available in the resource pack. All right, so I'm going to import my clips. We have 4. Bring them all in. And we're going to start with the easiest one, which is this guy. Just click and drag it into this box to make a new composition. So we have this video, which is a person in a really bright environment. And our first VFX that we're going to do is to give her black eyes or demon eyes, which will look really cool with the white and like a little bit of black that we see. It will create a nice and interesting contrast. So I'm going to first rename my clip, call this original, Control D or Command D, name this eyes. I'm just keeping it original just in case. So what we're going to do is to first comb through our clip and see from what part do we want the effect to start. So I'm gonna make the beginning of my clip this part. So her eyes are closed and then they open and she has the demon eyes, I guess, which you could actually keep the front. So in the beginning she has normal eyes and then after she blinks she has demon eyes. Then I'm going to decide how long I want my clip to be. So I'm going to go on to like 3 seconds. Control Shift D, delete the rest. We're going to hit N on our keyboard to close the composition or the workspace. So this is what we're working with. We have this person, she closes her eye, and then she's going to get her demon eyes. Alright, so what we want to do first is to create a null object. Right click, new null object, Control D on the null object. So we have, or we could do that again so we get null 2. Make 2 null objects. So null 1, null 2. You can name them if you want. So right eye. And then we have left eye. Alright, so we have these 2. And now on the eyes, we are going to, I'm going to choose 1 first. So I'm going to start with the right eye, turn off the left eye for a second, go to my tracker panel. Again, if you're not seeing it, window, tracker. We're going to track the motion of the eye. So hit track motion and click on the eye, track motion. We're going to come into the layer of the eyes and we're going to set the motion target to right eye. Hit OK. Then we have this little box that we're just going to first zoom in and move it towards the eyeball. Zoom in and make sure that the little thing is in the middle of the pupil. Make this box smaller. And I'm just going to make sure I'm getting all. Make sure you're in the beginning of your clip. And in the big box, we just want to make sure that it surrounds the eye. And then we're going to make sure it's transform. Again, motion target, the layer that you left on. And we're going to hit this analyze forward. So as you can see, it's following the eye. Went out of frame. Don't touch anything until it finishes. And there we are. Gonna hit etch. And I'm gonna open up eyes, the motion tracker, tracker 1. Just want to see how well it did. So it did pretty well. Zoom out. It does jump out at around here. So I'm going to expand these. Control left arrow key to move back and see where it jumps. Okay, you can see here it's normal. And then here it jumps. Click on that keyframe, hit V and just move it a bit to the center. Next one. And we're only doing this so that we get the right motion to minimize the jumping effect that the video will have. But we're just making sure that it looks better. Here it's fine. I'm going to move in. And again, here it jumps. So I know that I need to bring this guy to the center when it's going towards the right. Again, we have some jumping motion. And you could also do this while it's analyzing. So if you saw that it suddenly jumps away from the area that you gave it, just hit space on your keyboard to stop the process and then reposition the track point 1, the box, the entire thing. And then that way you can tell After Effects to, hey, stop, this is the right place. And then you will again hit the Analyze Forward so it can continue analyzing, but this time it will analyze properly. Or you could do what we're doing right now, which may be a little time consuming. But you know, for effects like this, you gotta spend some time to make sure that it turns out perfect so that you don't have some weird moving eyeball. You don't have a moving black box across your footage. That will not look cool. Alright. And then the rest is fine. It's still within the eyeball. Just here, it jumps again. And bring it here. Here it closes, which is fine. Our eye closes. It goes this way. Just bring it to the center. This part is not that important, the closing eye, because we're not going to add the effect when her eyes are closed. Bring it in. We might actually end up cutting the end of the clip where she opens her eye again, because when she's blinking, you do have to do some mask transforming, which could be a little bothersome or a bit time consuming. So you could save yourself the time by just cropping and trimming the clip so you don't get those little difficult areas. Alright, then we have one more keyframe and that's it. So once you play it back, you can see it follows the eye nicely. I did see it jump at some point. Let me zoom out. It jumped somewhere around. Alright, it does jump, but it's fine because her eyes are closed. Just comb through and make sure that the box is on her eyes when her eyes open, because the effect is not going to be there when she closes her eye. Alright, and then we're going to hit Apply, X and Y, okay. Now we have this little box. Alright, so we did this, and now we gotta do the exact same thing for the other eye. So we need another tracker. Hit track motion again on the same motion source. Now we have tracker 2. So they're two different things. Drag this on the other eye. And just adjust the little boxes. And I'm going to turn on left eye. Now this is on left eye itself. I'm going to zoom out so if at any point it jumps, you can just hit space and do what we mentioned. Let's hit the Analyze Forward. And you see I paused it, it stopped. I can just go ahead and reposition this and then hit Analyze Forward. And you can see here it's not doing so well. Just go back. And then move the box in the center of the pupil. Then hit Analyze Forward. I'm going to stop again. I can move in a few frames back. I'm going to go for like here. or just at the point where it jumps from the center to the corner. Hit this again. You can see it follows it now, and here it's fine. It's still in the center. Right, so now we have all of these tracker things. Let's see. Comb through, make sure it's perfect. Again, the part where she closes her eye is not that important. Left eye, go in the beginning and hit apply. Okay, so now we have 2 boxes. And you can see tracker 1, let me close this, tracker 1, tracker 2. Alright, so what we're going to do now is to just create 2 solids. Hit Control Y or Command Y, black solid 1. But instead of black, I'm going to zoom in first. We're going to get the color of her pupil, because a flat black color is going to look unrealistic. So Control Y, get this eyedropper tool, and just get the color of her pupil. So you can see it's not exactly black, it's dark gray. Hit OK, Control D, and again we're going to name this right eye, right click, left eye. Turn off left eye for a second, and we're going to get out of right eye. So I know that the right eye is this guy. So under right eye layer, I'm going to turn this on, get the mask, and I'm going to just turn this off and delete mask 1. Do that again. And I'm just going to go around the eye, mostly in the center. So click and drag to make a curve. You can cut the curve if you want a sharp edge, like we need right now. It's the corner of the eye. And then click and drag for the second one. We need to cut this part and then adjust the one below, just like that. So now if we turn this on, we only have the black in the eye, or the area that we chose. But the thing is that this is going to move. She's going to open and close her eyes. So we're going to, again, I'm going to turn this off so I can see what I'm doing. Turn on the mask path, and we're going to just, already I can see that I need to add another point here. Just kind of bring down the mask. Move into next frame. And I'm going to first get the right eye, get the spiral thing and put it on right eye. Open this up. And for some reason, this is not starting with the things. Grab all of the layers and make sure it starts from the beginning. Control right arrow key. And I'm just going to get my pen tool, and we're just going to go on the mask layer. Just adjust the little points. You can add a new one if you want, or just work with the older points. It's all good. We need to rotate it here, so Control T on the mask path. Control T, rotate, bring it up maybe. And we're going to again Control right arrow key. Okay, and then here's where we need to prepare for the blink. She's about to close her eye. And just do that. Bring this a bit closer. Leave it be. Control right arrow key. And we're just going to repeat all of this until it's, well, normal. And if you deal with this blinking, you need to close your mask so you're not getting these little things. You can hold down Alt and just cut the handles. Don't need that, so we get this line. And I'm just going to close this so there's nothing. Go forward, nothing until she opens her eye. And then I'm just going to get the hand tool and we're just going to move this around. If you want to get the curves back, just hold down Alt and then Alt or Option and then click on those points so we can get the curves that we had to go around the eye. All right. Move it down. And don't worry if the mask is too harsh. We're going to feather out the edges. And the thing is, once you look at it from afar, you won't really notice the little gaps and cracks. So don't worry about that. But the important thing is that we have the tracker. And we know that we can easily make the mask follow the eye by adding that tracker. Even if it does move around like this, for example, just go on Mask Path, Control or Command T, move it up, rotate it. It's going to create a keyframe for the eye position. So it's a simple process, but it does take some effort to make it look right, which it's the case with every single VFX. You need to work with it to make sure it looks realistic. And that's the only way that you would be proud of what you did. So you want to make sure the time that you spend on all of your works are leading to a good result. That you can improve with every try and make things perfect. Move up. If you click quickly, you can kind of skip through it faster. So you can save yourself some time by just going through each layer quickly to find the faulty parts like this. Just reposition and rotate. You can also close them in if you saw that the mask is too big. Maybe squish it in if you need to. It's not going to affect the rest of the keyframes. And also make sure that you're not exposing the whites, which I am right now. I don't want, because we're going to add the black solid layer. We don't want it to suddenly expose some white chunks. It's going to look weird. It's actually turned back to her human form suddenly. And that's just not looking good. You can also squish it here. Something like that. If she closes her eye, you only need to squish the mask completely. There won't be a need for it. Doesn't matter where it goes. And here you would just bring it back by trying to open up the mask again. Needs to be squished, rotate, get a little bigger. Control T, rotate, get the pen tool, going to need it. I'm gonna add a curve here because her eye is moving and we need to match the curves of the eye no matter what happens in the footage. So just go over it, be precise, and just do what is best for your footage. Just a few more frames and then we'll be finished. So we have to do the exact same thing on the other eye. Move it here, Control, just hit Edge, not Control. Move in to the next frames and we're done with the first eye, that is. I'm going to change the resolution to 3rd. Bring this back to fit. And now if I turn on my layer and click away, we have one of her eye as black, the other one doesn't. That's because we need to do it on the other eye too. Alright, so we have this mask, but the problem is that it's too rough. You can see it's like a chunk of black just surrounding the eye. So in order to avoid this chunky thing, we need to go in mask 1 and just add a few feathering things. Let's have a look. Now it looks more natural because it's just the eye. You can also expand the mask if you need to, if you saw that it's too little. Again, add feather, but don't add too much because it looks, you're going to bring back the original color. Try to keep a low number. And you can also add or remove from the opacity. Play this back and we have this cool thing effect. It is moving a lot. Once we click away, you see it's not that visible, but again, if you spend a lot of time on these, it will look cool. Alright, so I need to do the exact same thing on the other eye with the mask, and I'll do that, then we'll be back so we can finish off the first example. Alright, so I did the other eye, and if we place back, we can see we have the thing, but there's a problem. When she blinks, the mask is still there because we feathered it and all that. So on each of the layers, the eye layers, we want to go to the mask opacity. And I'm going to just zoom in so I can know exactly when to work with the opacity. I'm going to turn this off for a second. We're working with the left eye. And already I can see I need to fix this again. Alright, so we're going to look at when she closes her eye. Just go in frame by frame until she closes her eye, which is exactly where her eye is no longer open. We're going to open this up and make this 0. And then go back in here, make it 100. So if I turn this on, you can see it's 100, and then here there's nothing. So instead of this, we have nothing. Because when her eyes are closed, there shouldn't be any effects. And then here, when her eye is starting to show the whites, we're going to, again, go to the previous frame, add one of these linear keyframes. Here, we're going to make it 100. So now she has the eye again. Open it up. I'm going to turn off the visibility again, so if she blinks, we can know. Which I don't think she blinks anymore. It was only that one time, but let's check. She goes up. Okay, we do have a blink here. So right around here, I'm going to make another 100% keyframe. Next frame, it's going to be 0. Move in, let it be 0 until here. Keyframe. Next one, make it 100. And then just the eye like that. Now this would work a lot better if your subject wasn't moving, because the motion does kind of wiggle. I just want to show you guys how it would work with the motion. Let's play this back. And you can see when she closes her eye, let me zoom out a bit. Comparing with the other eye, the right eye, see that the thing disappears when she blinks, which would be the case if you did have eyes like that. It is a bit wiggly, but again, we're going to leave it be. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. Just copy these keyframes because it's the same eye and the same video. Hit M twice, open, mask, opacity, and we're going to just copy the keyframes. So now they're going to disappear at the same time, although we can see that her eyes do not close at the same time. So we have to do this ourselves. It's good. Zoom in. So it's 100% here. Turn off the visibility so we can see at what point we need to close and bring down the opacity to 0. Here we'll make another 100%. Next frame, make it 0%. Go in until she opens her eye again. Previous frame, make a 0. Next frame, make a 100. Go in, see when she closes her eye again. I believe it was somewhere around here. Here it's going to be 100 again. Next one, we're going to make it 0. Move in, let it be, and then here, previous frame, another 0 keyframe, make a 100. And then we're gonna let it be until the rest, because she doesn't blink again. Alright, so now you can see they disappear when she closes her eye, which is how it would be. Alright, so in order to make this a little better, kind of not let it shake as much, we're going to copy the original on top, the original layer, Control D. Drag this on top of the left eye. And what we're going to do is to again mask out her eyes. Go from the beginning and just come down here. G, and just lightly go around her eye. The more points you add, the better. So just add as many points as you need to make to perfectly go around her eyeball. All right, and then here we want to just open this up, mask 1, and just sort of add, go to subtract. So now with this eye, bring it up. I need to link this to the, I believe, the left eye null object. Can't really see, zoom out. Actually go to add and just invert the mask. So actually this won't really work. You would have to do the whole mask path again. I'm just gonna leave it be like this, and we could, however, remove the expansion that we added. So add that to 0. Right eye, expansion 0. And yeah, so this is our demon eye look. Like we said, it is a bit shaky, but if you choose a still video, it will be a lot more easier. But we're just seeing how a more difficult footage would work with this technique. And if you did have a still video, you would still use a tracker panel, but you won't have to deal with that mask path that we did, where you had to move each of the points in each frame. So that's our first example. Now we're going to use what we learned in this lesson, in this example, and apply it to another example, but we're going to make that glow. So just go in the other video, bring it in this box, so we can have a composition. Hit play, and this is quite long. Let's just cut this to 5 seconds. Hit N on your keyboard. Don't need all of that. Expand your timeline till you see the end. Hit play, and we have movement, but again, because it's away from the camera, our mistakes won't be that visible. And I'm just gonna let this play. You could go ahead and add like a stabilizer effect to the whole video, or you could slow it down. Like you can see, once it slows down, it's not that shaky. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to kind of make it slow so it doesn't move as much. And then we can continue. You can see the footage was shot handheld. So we're just going to go right click, time stretch, add a few numbers like 130. Now it shouldn't be as shaky. Play this back, you can see loads rendering. And remember, it's always the beginning of the clip that's the most shaky. As you move on with the rest of the clip, it's going to be a lot more stable. Alright, so now you can see it's a lot less shaky. I'm going to cut the first part where, like we said, is the most shaky. Bring it back, play this, and this is what we're working with. Alright, so we have around almost 5 seconds. Now we're going to do the exact same tracking on this one. Let me expand my timeline, bring this in the beginning. Again, make a new null object. There we are. I'm going to close this previous example. You could keep it if you think you'll forget the steps, but it could kind of slow down your program, so just remove it. On the pixels layer, Control D, I'm going to call this original. Again, just in case we need it. And we're going to name this tracker. Alright, we're going to track motion. Once again, move in a few frames. Zoom in and grab this little box and bring it here. Zoom in. Now, because she has colored eyes, it's easier for After Effects to track the pupil because we have a green color next to it. And we're just going to get the pupil, not the whites. Just going to open this up, place it here. That's tracker 1. We're going to motion target 3 and just zoom out, so if it jumps out we can pause it. Hit analyze forward. It's going to analyze the frames. Again, it's moving out a frame. We can't really see what's happening. I'm going to hit pause so I can come up here and see. And make sure it stays within the box. Continue. Just going up again. Pause and just maybe zoom out. Though we do need to be a bit zoomed in. Okay. Bring it down. Analyze forward. Alright, so I do want it to I'm going to cut the blinking part because that'll make the process long. And I'm just going to go from the beginning and hit apply to null 3. Here we got tracker 1. Call this the left eye. And I'm going to close this, turn off the audio. And at some point she blinks. I don't want that in my clip. I'll just scroll through with my time indicator, see when she blinks. I'm going to cut it to 3 seconds so we can save ourselves the trouble of the blinking. Don't want that. Control Shift D, hit backspace. Now we just have her with the eye open. Again, we're going to make another null object. Call this the right eye. Tracker, track motion, tracker 2, get the box, come down here and just go for the pupil. This part is a bit more shadowy, so we need to be precise. Make sure it doesn't jump out of frame. Left eye should be right eye. Change this to right eye. Okay. analyze forward. Put your hand on the space bar because we might have to pause because it goes out of frame. Bring it back up. Analyze forward so we can continue. All right, pretty stable. And we're just going to go back and hit apply on the right eye, just like so. And I'm going to cut the right eye null object, Control-Shift-D, delete the rest. Cut the workspace like so. Resolution, bring it to 3rd. Don't want any lag. Alright, so we do have this. It's a cool effect. But what we want to do, there's either two things that you can do. You could either brighten up the pupil, or you could add a brush stroke like we did in another lesson. That's what I'm going to do. So Control Y, I'm going to make a black solid. Alright, we got this black box now. We're going to name this left eye. Need another one, Control Y, for right eye. Which you could actually just copy the first one, delete black solid 2. Now on the left eye, we're going to first remove the thing. I'm going to go in the tracker video. Actually, let's turn off tracker, go on the original video, double click on original so we can get in the layer. Come up until we see the eyes. Hit V, and we're going to get the brush tool. It's really huge. Let's go for a small number. A little more smaller, I guess. Want it to be within the iris. Make sure hardness is 0. And we're going to choose the color that we want. I guess I'll go with like a purple color. Just make a dot on that eyeball. And we're going to have to, I guess, add more to the size. Control Z. Let me try 35. Make another dot. There we are. And we are going to just let this be. Make sure the paint duration is constant and not single frame. And we're going to get out of here. Open up original and go to effects, paint, brush 1. Just Control C on brush 1. And in left eye, we're going to Control V. So we have the paintbrush effect on the left eye black solid. We're going to delete the brush 1 from original and just delete like so. And now on the left eye, if I turn this on, you can see that I'm not seeing my brush. Let's see, paint. Yeah, it's all the way in the back. Just bring it here. It's all the way up there. Just make sure it's in the beginning of your frame. It's this tiny dot up here. Alright, and going to do the same thing for the other eye. Just delete, turn off the visibility. Again, go in original, and we're going to get our brush, again, constant with the same settings, and just add another dot here. Copy brush 1. We're doing this because the position is different on each of the brush. Left eye, Control V. Turn on that layer. And again, I'm going to delete brush 1 from the original. Close that. Open up left eye, and again, it's all the way in the back. Just drag it in the beginning. Make sure it matches with the other brush thing. So we have these 2 tiny dots. Although I forgot to separate them. Control D on left eye. Call this right eye. And I'm going to delete brush 2 from left eye. Hit the backspace. We only have 1 brush in left eye. Open up right eye. Effects, paint, and delete brush 1 from right eye. So we have two different brushes. See what's happening here. All right, I'm not seeing the brush thing. Don't know what's happening. Go back to composition. Just do what I just did again. Delete brush 1 on left eye. Turn off the visibility. Go to original. And I'm going to go in the beginning and just do that again. Go back to composition and copy the brush 1 and put it in left eye. Open this up. Bring this here. So now we need to have 2 dots. Now the reason why the other one's not showing is because we didn't change the blending mode. On original, I'm just going to leave it be. Maybe we might need that. Alright, so we got the eyes. Now on select that layer, go to toggle switches / modes, turn the mode for both of them to screen. Screen 1, screen 2. So now we have the eyes on the original layer. And we're going to link these to their null objects. So left eye, get the pick whip and connect it to left eye. Right eye goes to right eye. So now if we play this back, the dots should be moving with the thing. I'm seeing a third dot, which I believe is from the left eye panel. Let's open that up. And I'm gonna see, okay, it's not left eye, it's right eye. I think it's the, yeah, turn on tracker. That was the original layer. Turn on tracker. It was the brush stroke that we didn't delete from the original layer. All right, play this back. The dots are there, just like that. We just gotta make them as long as the clip. Just go in each one. Open up left eye and do that too. All right, so we got this. We just gotta work with the properties. Open up transform, and we're just going to kind of, let me see. Go to effects, brush 2, and going to change the path, transform, stroke. Okay. Delete right and left eye, and we're going to do the thing, but instead we're going to straight up choose the number that, the color that we wanted. So it was this really bright purple. Copy the code for the other thing, hit OK. Now we have this magenta thing, just duplicate it actually. And I'm going to name these right eye, second one left eye. And I'm going to turn off the visibility for both. Connect right eye, or first let's mask it out. Choose the right eye, which is this guy. Just making sure I didn't do it the opposite way. Get the pen tool, and we're going to go on the right eye solid and just really precisely go around the eyes. Remember, the more curves, the better. The more points, the better. Sorry, not curves. The more points, the better. That way you will avoid kind of a strict, sharp effect on your character. Don't want that. Open these guys and just go around the eye until you're happy with it. And also don't worry about the part here, because we're going to feather everything out and it will look a lot more natural. So now if I turn on right eye, you can see it's only in the eye. We're also going to connect right eye with a pick whip to the right eye. Move to the next frame, the next eye and go on the left eye now and just do the same thing. Again, going on the edges with as much as points as we can add so we can avoid a sharp mess. Drag these down, just follow the natural curve of the eye. Alright, turn this on. This guy goes to left eye. So now if I hit fit, we have her looking like this, and we just gotta fix up a few things. Go to left eye, go to mask, or if you want to quickly get it, hit M twice. I'm going to first of all feather things out. Let me zoom in. Feather out the mask so it doesn't look weird. Feather out the mask and just enough so the edges will look cool. Also lower the opacity a little bit. Actually, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to come down and maybe lower the expansion. So we have the feathering effect inside the eye. Mask expansion, -5. Feather, 15. Do the same thing for the right eye. Double M. Feather was 15. Mask expansion was -5. So we have this effect right now. Right, so we have the eye just doing its thing, and I'm going to add glow to this. Let's see how that looks. Alright, that was the left eye, you can see, compared to the other eye. Bring it up, it's glowing. And we were dealing with the left eye. You can add to the radius if you want. Add to the intensity. Remove from the threshold. And just play around until you see a good result with the glow effect. Gonna add the same thing to the other eye. The right eye. This one's glowing too. Just gonna see what I did here. Let's just stick with the default 60%. This I believe was, let's see, 10. Magenta solid 2, go for 10. Alright, we got some nice glowing eyes. And I'm going to go back and have a look at what we've done so far. Lay this back. We do need to do some feathering. Now that we look back, it looks kind of strange. Just go in and magenta, double M. Gonna remove the mask expansion to -10 instead of 10. That just looks a lot more natural because we added the glow. It expands to the eye. Double M. And make this -10 as well. Play this back and we have this voodoo looking creature, which from the looks it could suggest that she's like a witch and she has like powers and all of that. Alright, I'm just working around with the stuff. I'm going to add to the radius so it kind of adds to the surrounding. Instead of just being like a ball like this, we want it to kind of expand. Let's see, what else can we do? I'm going to add to the intensity. For the radius 211, let's add that 211. So we have that. And this looks a lot more natural compared to what we had before. It's within the eyes, which is important. And we're still seeing the pupil, which is also important. Now, if you'd like, you could add multiple colors to the eyes. So like the pupil is a different color. The white is this magenta color. Just experiment with the colors and see what you like. Gotta zoom out. You could go ahead and create another solid layer to add to the thing. Let me first rename these. Left eye, right eye, there's the rest. We could add a kind of a glowing effect on the eye. I think that will look cool, so it will be like something like this. And I'm just gonna do that real quick. So by simply multiplying the effect, we can achieve that. So just hit Control D, and you can see it's glowing even more. Again, just enough until you're seeing the glow that you want. The more you add, the more intense it will look. But you can always just go in the left eye, close mask, go to Effects, Glow 4, which is the last one. And we can go in compositing options and maybe just lower down the thing, just so it's like a little bit of effects. And you can work with the opacity for each one of these glows. If like you saw that you didn't like it, close this. I'm going to do this 4 more times, 3 more times actually. And on the last one, we're going to do the exact same thing. Open Effects, Glow 4, come down to compositing options. Get like 20, I believe that's the number we had for the other one too. Let's see. Yeah, 20. Let me see this one. Okay, no, it was 36, not 20. So let's make sure they look the same. 36. Turn this to fit, and we have this weird look to our thing. You could add some color grading just to make things look better. So I'm going to first close the paint panel, close the layers, make a new adjustment layer. So layer, new adjustment layer. On this, we're gonna go to tint, add that to tint to this guy, and we're going to change the map. So instead of black and white, we have this magenta color. Hit OK. And amount to tint, we're going to add a little bit just for the place to look kind of magical. You can also Control D on that and choose another color. Let's go for maybe a bluish color, a darker one maybe. Hit OK. Again, you can change the amount if you want. Make another adjustment layer. Bring it below this one. Look for brightness and contrast. Add it to the second one. Then remove from the brightness. Then add to the contrast. Not that much, just enough for the eye to look realistic. For the mood, not the eye. For the mood to look realistic. And I'm not liking how sharp my eyes are. Her eyes are. Hit M twice and add to the feathering. Okay, we added too much. 352, it's too much. Let's go for 20. Zoom in if I need to. Alright, that looks better. And if you're adding to the feather, make sure you are kind of reducing the expansion. So this is what we have compared to this. And gotta do the same thing with that. So 20 for feather, -12 for mask expansion. -12, 20. There we are. And you can always just go in your mask and get the pen tool and just kind of, if you want, slim down the selection. Like bring this guy down. Let me create a new point. Delete that and just kind of find the shape of her eye by bringing the things closer. the points. So now it's only in the inside of the eye. Do the same thing for the other one. You can see this looks a lot more natural compared to, you go on the random layer, compared to this. Go to left eye, hit M twice, and we're going to go on mask, make a random point, delete that, and just kind of slim down the thing. We're doing this because we feathered out the edges, and once you do that, you can kind of ruin the shape that you created in the beginning. So it's always a good idea to just come back and make sure your mask is perfect. Zoom out. And I'm going to play this. There where she looks like a teammate who is just staring. You could again go in each of these layers, maybe add to the contrast, which is what I'm going to do, and just reduce as well. So now her eyes are just like out, and you can just bring both of these layers above the adjustment layer so you don't lose the glow that you added. There we are. So now it looks like some mystical creature. You can always just go back and change the values for each of the parts. So that was how you can add this special effect to moving subjects. As you saw, it was a bit shaky, but in the second part of this lesson, we're going to look at this technique on a still footage, and you can see the difference. So in the next lesson, we're also going to go on the third example, and I hope to see you guys there.